Hi grade 5 and 6, welcome back to week 8 guitar. This term we're going to cover 2 songs at the end of all of this, just with a slight different picking pattern. Also again we're going to have 2 different picking patterns. But before we get started, there's just a couple of things I really want you to take note of before you do any sort of guitar recording. So, first of all, make sure I can see both your hands on the guitar. Yeah? It doesn't help if you submit yourself playing any piece and it's like you're this close and I can't, yes, you're playing the guitar, but I cannot see the guitar, I'm only seeing you. So yes, you might have a good looking face, but I need to see the guitar. Alright, very important. Doesn't help, especially if you're like taking it this way and now it's like you were fine before, but now it's just the middle section of the guitar and I still can't see your hands. So I need to see both your hands. The next thing is, the first most important thing you should always do before you play your guitar is what? What should you do? Hope you're saying it through the screen. You should tune your guitar. If your guitar is out of tune, it's like you will not make good sounding music. It's like the music is already bad before you've begun. So always make sure you're in tune. Before you play any chord, tune it up. So I've tuned up and all my chords will sound fine. Alright? But if you don't tune up, it will sound pretty horrible. So always make sure you tune your guitar. The next thing, which is number 3. So first one was make sure I can see both hands. Number 2, make sure you tune your guitar. Number 3, the reason why I show you these songs is so that you can play them as I've shown them to you. Because there's some slight challenges in each part that I'm showing you. So if I give you a specific song, make sure you play the exact same arrangement that I've shown you. Don't go looking for a different arrangement of the song, which might be slightly easier or slightly different. Make sure you play back the one that I am showing you now. Me as your teacher, okay? As your guitar instructor. So, 3 things. Make sure I can see both hands, get your guitar in tune, and whenever you record yourself, make sure you're doing what I am showing you, alright? And if you do those things and you practice hard, you'll get better at your guitar, and as a result you'll get better marks. Although it's not about the marks, it's about being able to get better at your instrument. That's the goal, okay? So let's get started. We've been looking at the key of C, and our first chord was C major right there. Yeah? So let's just go through the numbers one time. So we're going to go 1, C major, 2, D minor. Make sure your thumb is on the right root note on the D string. 3 was E minor. 4 was F major, from that D string again. 5 was G major. 6 was A minor. And then we did a 5/7, which would be like, just like that. Middle finger of the da, 2nd fret of the A string, pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. Alright? Now this week we're going to work on two picking patterns, but before we do so, let me show you a new way of holding 2 different chords. So first up, this is our F, yeah? This is not the new way. But now we're going to add in a 1/3. So how do you add in a 1/3? Pretty easy. All you do is you put your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, take your middle finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then you're going to play these 2 notes. You're going to play with only these 2 fingers on the fretboard, and then your G string is going to be open, your high E string is going to be open. And you're going to play it with the right hand from the D string. So it's going to sound like this. So if I say play 1/3, this is what I want you to play. Alright, make sure you're from the D string. Don't play it from the A string, that's the wrong note. Don't play it from the low E, play it from the D string. Now if some of you have noticed, actually pretty similar to another chord. This is exactly the same as a C, but without that ring finger. So if you hold a C and you let go of your ring finger and you start playing it from the D string, that's your 1/3. Okay? So 1/3. Remove it, put it back on. Boom, boom. 1 there. One more time, remove it, put it back on. 1/3. Alright, so now let's get back to our 4 chord, which is F. So you can hold the easy version by not barring both strings, which is fine. Just put your finger on the 1st fret B string. Now watch this. We know this to be our G chord, but I'm going to give you another G chord that sometimes I'll be throwing in there. So if this is your F, all I want you to do is move everything up 2 frets this way, okay? So 1, 2. So now it's the exact same shape here that was here, but now it's over here. Now this is also a G, okay? It's just now played from the D string and has a different shape. So this will be F, G, F, G. It's the exact same thing as F, G, F, G. Alright? So those are the 2 new chords, 1 over 3, which is just C over E. And then we're going to have this G over here. Cool. And for this one, I'm barring both the strings. But you can also just put your finger on the B string and let the high E string ring out. Cool. Now, let's get to some right hand stuff. So I want you to try this. This is going to be our main picking pattern. We're going to have 2 of them. So take your thumb, put it on the A string, don't put anything on the D string, and then our index finger once again in charge of the G string, middle finger in charge of the B string, ring finger in charge of the high E string. Make sure they're like that. Okay? So it's like you're saying, come with this joint over here. Put your finger here and that's how it is. Not the entire hand, just from that second joint. Alright, and this is what you're going to do. This is going to be our first pattern. We're going to go thumb on the A string, index finger on the G string, then you're going to pluck the B and the high E string with your middle and ring finger at the same time. So, 1 and 2. Alright, so for that 2, you're going to pluck those 2 strings at the same time, and then you're going to come back to the G string with your index finger. So it's going to be thumb, index, middle and ring, index. That's the whole thing. Thumb, index, middle and ring, index. Thumb, index, middle and ring. Hope you're doing it with me. Let's go. Thumb, index, middle and ring, index. One more time. Thumb, index, middle and ring, index. Get very used to it. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now once you get really used to that, and it becomes really, really easy, try this next one, because you can also play every other song we're going to be doing with these 2 patterns. So here's the second one. The second one is going to be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so all I'm doing is thumb on the A string, index finger on the G string, middle finger on the B string, ring finger on the high E string, back to the middle finger on the B string, to the index finger on the G string. But it's the rhythm that matters. So it's 1 and up. Let's try that. 1 and up. 1 and up. 1 and up. Then the next one, 1 and 2 and up. So let's try that. 2 and up. So ring, middle, index. 2 and up. 2 and up. 2 and up. One more time. 2 and up. So let's put that together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dum 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 dum. A string, D, G. Sorry, wrong string. So A, G, B, high E, B, G. A, G, B, high E, B, G. A, G, B, high E, B, G. A, G, B, high E. Keep going. Like that. Alright, so let's try to do the first picking pattern twice and then the second picking pattern twice. So 3, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Back to the first pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Second pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so get those, practice those, and once you've gotten really confident in them, let's now just put them just to 3 chords, okay? So we're going to have our C chord, C major. You should already know that by now. We're going to use the first pattern. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3. Now for the next part, so once you do that once, 1 and 2 and, that's 1 time. We're going to remove our ring finger and play from the D string. So these three fingers, your index, middle, and ring, don't go anywhere, but your thumb is moving. So your thumb's going to go to the D string, and you're going to go 1 and 2 and. So that's our 1/3 chord, yeah? That one. So just the C without that. So 1 and 2 and. So let's try those two chords together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but now holding F. Alright? Same, our fingers stay in the same place on our right hand, but now we're holding an F. We're going to go 1 and 2 and. Alright? We're going to do that twice. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then take it, slide it to that G that we did in the beginning of the lesson. So, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th fret of the D, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G, index on the 3rd fret of the B, and high E. And we're going to do that twice. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Let's put it together slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's just try and make the F and the G one time, okay? Let's try it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. One more time, be quiet. Now let's finish it up by just trying to use our second picking pattern. Some of you might notice that when I'm still playing that C over E, the 1/3, I'm still holding my C chord, which is fine, as long as you change that bass note to that D string. That's what's important. That'll still be the 1/3. Okay, let's play that one. Alright, so let's try it now with our second picking pattern, which is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Okay, let me slow it down a bit. 3, go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Now together. Finish on a C. Alright, and that's it. So practice the picking pattern, practice that 1/3 and that 5 chord, which is just G but over here, and try and use those two different picking patterns. When you can do that, you are ready for the song we're going to start next week and the song after that. That's all we're going to be focusing on, and play it well. Remember your right hand, no pinky planting, let it float. Some of you do that really, really well. Let it float and let your fingers come like that. No, putting your fingers here. Alright? See y'all next week.